Disclaimer. This is not fiction. It's David Williamson's real testimony of life, death, and what lies beyond. A journey through pain, anger, and ultimately into the infinite love and peace that awaits us all. What you're about to hear may change how you see yourself and life itself. Growing up in Yanceyville, North Carolina, my childhood was a story of contrasts. To a child's eyes, the fields and forests seemed magical. I would spend hours climbing trees, wandering through the woods, searching for treasures in the dirt. Even broken glass felt like ancient relics in my little hands. But as I got older, I started noticing the undercurrents of my town's reality: poverty, deep-rooted racial tensions, and fear. Caswell County, where I lived, still has one of the highest levels of active Ku Klux Klan presence in the country. This wasn't something out of history books. It was here, now. I saw them march down Main Street. Hoods, robes, flags, their hatred a living, breathing thing. I watched my mother, my aunts, their faces hard with pain and anger. It was impossible not to absorb that energy. And so, as I grew, my own anger grew too. It felt justified. It felt protective. I thought, if they hate me, I'll hate them back. My nervous system stayed on high alert, always ready to fight, always ready for war. Hypertension became part of my life. Even moments of peace felt like I was waiting for the next attack. But there were contradictions too, moments that didn't fit the narrative I was building. I remembered my preschool teacher, Miss Muller, a white woman who had cradled me during story time, her warmth and love radiating. Later, there were other white neighbors and teachers who showed genuine kindness. But I pushed those memories down. I chose to focus on the pain. Hatred was easier. It gave me a sense of control, or so I thought. As the years passed, my health began to crumble under the weight of anger and stress. I developed digestive issues so severe that sometimes I couldn't eat. My blood pressure spiked dangerously, but I ignored it. This is just how life is, I told myself. On February 1st, 2021, my life changed forever. That night, I was in my garage with two friends when a sharp, tearing pain shot through my back. It didn't feel like a heart attack, not at all. With a history of back problems, I assumed it was another disc issue. But this was different. Driving home later, I felt a strange tingling, a stinging sensation in my chest. It became harder to breathe. Each inhale felt shallow, insufficient. I stumbled into the house. "Trish," I called to my son's mother. "I think I need to go to the ER." By the time we were in the car, I was gasping for air, fighting to stay conscious. At the hospital, they rushed me inside. I vaguely remember being placed on a gurney. And then, nothing. But it wasn't nothing. In an instant, I was elsewhere. There was no tunnel, no transition, just a sudden, profound awareness. I was in space, infinite, silent, alive. Around me stretched a velvety blackness, filled with shimmering stars and energy. It wasn't empty. It was full of love, full of possibility, full of everything. My human pain, confusion, and the weight of my identity were gone. I wasn't David the activist. I wasn't even David the man. I was something else entirely, pure awareness, an orb of light floating in an ocean of energy. Looking down, I saw the ER room like a distant scene. Doctors worked feverishly. Nurses moved with urgency. One woman stood in the corner, hands covering her face, weeping. I wanted to tell her, "Don't cry. I'm free." I've never felt more alive. Words, or perhaps vibrations, flooded my being. Light, energy, soul, spirit, awareness. They weren't spoken. They simply were. I wasn't learning. I was remembering who I truly was. Every question I formed was answered instantly, not in language, but in knowing. The void beneath me wasn't frightening. It was warm, alive, embracing. It held every possibility, every past and future. It felt like home. I looked up and saw what people might call the light. Soft, radiant, drawing me in. I hesitated, not from fear, but from awe. For the first time, I understood. We are not these bodies. We are not our thoughts or our pain. We are energy. We are part of an infinite system of love. But then, I felt a pull. The next thing I knew, I was back in my body. My chest ached. My lungs burned. I opened my eyes and saw the faces of the medical team. The first words out of my mouth were, "Are you okay?" The nurse blinked, startled. "No," she said. "Are you okay?" I looked down and saw the defibrillator pads pressed to my skin. The memory hit me all at once. The room, the stars, the void. "Oh," I whispered. I really was dead. But there had been no fear, no pain, only love. If David's journey touched you, share your thoughts below. And don't forget to subscribe for more true stories that reveal what lies beyond the veil.